Well, I wanted to go a little bit down the rabbit hole on the full moon in Aquarius happening the 29th. We just had the nodes of fate and destiny go into Aquarius. And so I'll show you where the moon, when you look at a chart, the moon is this symbol up at the right there, up at the left, and it's a full moon in Aquarius conjunct Pluto, which is right next to it, and it's a deep psychological change. And so Aquarius being a sign of rebellion and revolution and change, individuality, insights that you might not have had before. Secrets can come to light because of Pluto being conjunct, and so there can be a lot of insight where that you weren't expecting, something really out of that's not normal, and because the nodes of fate, which is this symbol right here, the north node, is now in Aquarius. It looks like it's still in Pisces, but there's two. One of them is the true node, and one of them is the median node, and the true node is in Aquarius right now, and that's an 18-month transit. And so what we're looking at is big changes and big revolutionary energy for the next 18 months. And I just want to show you what people see when they're looking at, when they say there's a full moon and I want to show where it is in a chart when you want to look at it. So the full moon is opposite of the sun down here in the bottom in Leo, which is conjunct to Jupiter. And so that's expansive energy, but full moons are a completion of something that you've been dealing with. So you'll always see the full moon opposite the sun. And now the nodes go backwards. So this true the node symbol will start moving upward, and the moon and everything else is going the other direction. The south node, which is opposite of the north node, will also be going backwards. So that's what you look for when you're looking at a full moon. And I suppose, let me think, that there's quite a bit of information out online about this one. It's really huge energy, and Uranus down here, the ruler of, down at the bottom, it's the ruler of Aquarius in Gemini. So it's this, and you see the blue lines that are aspects. All those connect together. The full moon with Pluto and the blue line down to Uranus. So easy aspects between the ruler of Aquarius and also to Neptune. This is a kind of a triangle shape, but all that's easy aspects between Pluto and the moon and Uranus, and then there's Neptune over here. And if you don't know how to puzzle out the aspects, then you go to that other chart that I showed on the last thing, which so I was really not feeling so great when I was doing the other parts of this video, and so I thought I'd add a little bit more. The next slide will have all the oppositions and sextiles and so forth spelled out, but it doesn't show which sign they're in. So Neptune being in, let me see if I can get this here. Neptune being in Aries right here. So confusion, just short descriptions, career, and father, and responsibilities and restrictions, and where you're structuring in Aries. And so on the next slide, when it shows the aspects to it, that'll be where it is. It'll be in Aries. And then Chiron is in Taurus, which affects your values and your money that you earn through your own efforts. And then Uranus is affecting your third house of communications. Mars also, third house of communications and short trips and siblings. And then Mercury will be affecting Cancer, which is the home and mother and your nurturing and main nurturer. And then the Sun and Jupiter are in Leo, which is your house of entertainment, the way that you express, the way that you come across creatively or not, and your children, and it's a house of romance. So the Sun and Jupiter there with opposite the moon would be a completion of some type of entertainment that you used to do, or that something with your children that you might have done, or a romance might be over. And then the south node where you're moving away from is in Virgo, so tasks and work and health. So something faded that it's being moved away from. And also Venus is there in that house also, and that's your values and money you earn through your own efforts, your luck. It rules women in general, females. And so if it's in the house of work and daily tasks and caretaking, your routines and so forth. Your routines and so forth. It's while Venus is in that house, it's affecting your routines, and so the money that you earn, it could be lucky. And then I've already spoken about the North Node. I didn't say what house it was in or what sign. It's in Pisces, and that's the 12th house of imagination. So that was where it has been, and it moves upward, like I pointed on the last thing. It moves into Aquarius. So the themes for the next 18 months will be Aquarius themes, which is the rebellion and the individuality and ingenious ideas and inventive ideas and so forth. And Pluto and the moon working together, the full moon of completion of some kind of psychological thing, or secrets that are finally over, or money that was supposed to come to some kind of completion, some maybe inheritance completion, or just something psychological. That's what full moons bring, and I suggest going to some other astrologers if you really want a rundown of what the full moon means. I'm just basically trying to show uh, what you see in a chart. In other words, teaching you how to see where the planets are and so forth. Lilith up here at the top, that's some kind of taboo energy of a sexual sort, is in the house that rules philosophy and religion, and so there may be something dark while it's underneath the surface, kind of a feeling of having a hidden taboo thing going on under your religious ideas or your philosophies, or somehow connected to long distance travel or long distance communications. And then empty house for Scorpio, which of course it's ruled by Pluto, so these two connect. And so what is going on with the full moon is connected to the 8th house also, which is sexuality, your psychology, your excuse me, money coming to you from outside sources that are not earned through your own hands. And then Libra is an empty house also, so no planets affecting your the 7th house of relationships and partnerships, but that doesn't mean there's no effect. Libra is a balancing act of your judgment and partnerships and everything that you deal with other people, and so there isn't any great big aspect caused by the in that house, but its ruler is down here in the 6th house of work and daily tasks and so forth. So you might actually come across a partner, a love partner in the 6th house while Venus transits there. And I guess that's enough said for this. I just wanted to expand because last night I was feeling so horrible that I just couldn't even focus, and this is supposedly supposed to be about the full moon on the 29th, which is some kind of maybe psychological. This is the 29th full moon right there up at the top on the left. And I basically want to teach how you see what the effects are at the time. I didn't mention Capricorn at the top is the career, and there's an empty house there, but its ruler is down here in the 1st house of self and self-image. And so while Saturn is there, which it just went retrograde, it went so that there'll be an internal focus on responsibilities and what you've done over the last while it's been in the house of self-image. So that's a different energy that started on the 26th at the same time that the North Node went into Aquarius. And so there's kind of this different energy about responsibilities, or maybe even government and politics, or structures of some type. That's what Capricorn rules. And with Saturn going retrograde, it's an internal focus more than an external focus. So you're processing more, and that happens every year for about 6 months, and it's not a sudden thing happening. But with the North Node being in Aquarius, there can be sudden insights and so forth that are connected with any of the other aspects that happen to be affecting that at the time. And you'd have to kind of look at daily what the effects are. Now, this chart is AstroSeek, and AstroSeek is pretty good about showing the daily, and it even has, you can calculate your own daily um, happenings, the effects, your own personal horoscope daily on it. There's other websites too, astro.com. I think you have to pay on it. And Cafe Astrology, and I don't know if it has dailies or not, but um, I like to look, see on this right hand side, I like to look up there, and you can see how it says it's July 29th, and that's the date, and all the planets down below, or where they are currently. And then but that where it says one day, it has a capability on AstroSeek to click on that, and it goes to like 1 week ahead, or 1 month ahead, or 1 year ahead, or one, you can, or backwards, you can recalculate what happened on a certain day, and or time, or that's how I kind of get my in order to read like an event that happens in someone's life, a death that happened, or someone, some big event happened. That's how I get it, by turning it forward or backward to see that particular day. Anyway, I guess I'll quit there. Thanks for listening. And oh, the next chart, I kind of referred to it on the last chart. It's the daily aspects explained, and it didn't have the signs that it was in, and because I was too tired to do it last night. Anyway, thanks. I'll show where it shows the sun being opposite of the moon, and sun conjunct Jupiter, and sun trine Saturn, sun sextile Uranus, sun trine Neptune, sun opposing Pluto. So all those effects are affecting the sun, and so I won't go into each energy. I'm not feeling real great, but I just wanted to show you that when you're looking for what's going on, this is probably the best thing to puzzle out what all the lines in the middle mean. The next things are the moon opposing Jupiter, and moon trining Uranus, moon sextile Neptune, moon conjunct Pluto. So let me go back up. I'll kind of do one of those rundowns again. I'll try to anyway. Sun opposing moon would be your expressiveness. It might have tension with your feelings. Then sun conjuncting Jupiter. Sun is in easy aspect with your higher mind, and sun trining Saturn might be a restrictive expression. You might feel restricted on expression. Or feel connected to your career or father. And then sun sextile Uranus would be your expressiveness in an easy aspect between the rebellious side of you or individuality. And then sun trining Neptune would be your expressiveness in an easy aspect between your spirituality or your unconscious motivations. And then Sun opposing Pluto would be your expressiveness having a opposition to maybe a secrets or sexuality or money that you expected coming to you from outside sources or your psychological side. And then the moon opposing Jupiter would be your emotions having an opposition to your higher mind and philosophies. And then moon trining Uranus would be your emotions in easy aspect with your rebellious side or your things you want to revolutionize or insight, sudden inspirations or rebellions could be explosive emotions, somehow really inventive or something to do with big tech. And then the moon sextiling Neptune, that would be your emotions in an easy aspect to your unconscious motivations and spirituality and divine insight. And then the moon conjunct Pluto would be your emotions and moods and so forth would be tied up somehow with your sex or death or money coming to you from outside sources. So could be good or bad depending. And then the next one is Mercury sextiling Venus, which Mercury is your conscious mind and communications in easy aspect to your love life and money that you bring in through your own efforts, your luxuries, your possessions. And then the same, your Mercury, the mind and communications have a tense aspect to Saturn, which Saturn is your career or your father or your older man or just the feeling of maybe being restricted somehow or things slowed down. And then Venus squaring Mars would be your luck and luxuries and money that you bring in through your own hands might have a tense aspect to, and Venus also rules females, could have a tense aspect to Mars, which is your energy and your self-image. It could be men in general, so it could even be like females having issues with males. And then Jupiter sextile Uranus would be your higher mind and philosophy and long distance travel and so forth is an easy aspect with the rebellious side of you or your individuality. Maybe you'll have good luck on a trip. Jupiter brings good fortune and expansion. So you could have something, some joyful time on a trip, but something unexpected may happen because Uranus is unexpected and unusual things. And then all Jupiter trining Neptune, there could be long distance trips, or your philosophies or your religion could be an easy aspect to your spirituality, which is Neptune, and then Jupiter, which is the higher mind, and I'm saying something different for each one of them, but the higher Jupiter is the higher mind, your philosophies, long distance trips, or long distance and foreign connections, even, um, uh, and communication. And then that one is opposing Pluto, which, so that would mean it's in opposition to maybe your sex life or your secrets. It could be sex, death, or money coming to you from outside sources, inheritances or something, or hopefully you don't lose money through a long distance avenue, some kind of opposition there. And then Uranus is sextile to Neptune, so Uranus is, of course, your individuality and unusual happenings and rebellion, revolutionary aspect. It can be ingenious. It can be ingenuity. I mean, sudden insight, sudden ingenious thoughts come to you, and it is in an easy aspect with Neptune, which is your spiritual side or your unconscious motivations, and then also Uranus, where you're the unusual energy or rebellious or revolutionary or ingenious, could be. It is trining Pluto, so it could have something to do with, now Pluto is not only sexuality and death and rebirth and transformations and so forth. I didn't mention that on the last Pluto ones. It's transformations and also your psychological side. So maybe some unusual thoughts on revolution is your psychological makeup. It's in an easy aspect to that. And then the next one is Neptune, which is your unconscious motivations and spirituality, and could be addictions, could be, I don't know, your dreams, unconscious world is in an easy aspect to Pluto, so it could be your spiritual and unconscious motivations in an easy aspect with your psychological side, or your thoughts on money coming to you, or sexuality, or some type of well, on the more negative side, it could, Neptune rules addictions and Pluto rules obsessions, so hopefully you won't be obsessed about addiction, things that you're addicted to. And then, of course, there's the North Node squaring Uranus, which is destiny in a tense aspect to rebellion. And then North Node sextile Chiron, destiny in an easy aspect to the wounded healer, which is your wounds. So that would probably be you may have something that you are feeling not so great about, your inner wounds, and a sextile to Chiron. Let me think. If you've Chiron is where you heal, what you do heals where you feel healed. I mean, you are able to heal other people, but you are not able to heal yourself. So somehow the nodes of fate, the node of destiny is going to be affecting, and this is a long-term thing, so it'll be affecting how you come across, that you feel that you're wounded. Um, your wounds will be something that you focus on, but others will, you're able to heal others where it is in the chart, and I didn't point it out in the last slide, and that would be something you'd want to look at where it is in your chart. But anyway, Lilith is the darker sexual thing that comes, it's squaring Venus, so maybe your dark secrets about sexuality will be in a tense aspect to your love life or your money, the feelings of luck in love. And then Lilith, also your darker sexuality, your taboo subjects are in a tense an opposition to male energy, men energy, your sexuality. So both of those are kind of an opposition to sexuality and love. And then Lilith again, which is, it's taboo sexual energy. It's this dark where you feel shame or something about your sexuality, and it's in an easy aspect to Chiron, which means your wounds, which it sounds kind of negative, but yeah, anyway, then we're back to wounds, an intense aspect to the sun, wounds, an intense aspect to your emotions, wounds, an intense aspect to your higher mind and wounds, an intense aspect to your psychological and sexual world. So, I mean, that's just, you know, things can appear to be contradictory, and this is just one day. So, you know, you might not have the greatest sex life, but in this particular day. But some of them are longer lasting things because the larger planets don't move quickly. But this was, I didn't really go into the full moon. The full moon is a completion of some area of your life, and I would suggest, if you really wanted to look into it, to listen to some other people on it. I am just not as versed on that. I've been doing other things, so there's a lot of interesting information about this one. It's like a huge thing because of the change of the nodes of destiny. But anyway, I just wanted to show you kind of what you want to look at in a chart, what astrologers see, and so that you can look for yourself. It's not a big mystery. Anyway, thanks for listening.